The mind not in control is your worst enemy. In control, your greatest ally. And that power made me able to do stuff, 26 world records, like swimming under the ice, climbing Mount Everest to the death zone. What is that? That is nature. It is merciless but righteous.
My name is Sara Lessa. I truly believe that the greatest story man will ever tell is his own. This is why I have decided to embark on a journey to interview those who have discovered their calling and achieved greatness. I'm not going alone, however. You're coming with me as they share their narratives of success and what it takes to leave a legacy. Welcome to Legendiary. Welcome to another episode of Legendary. My guest today, all the way from the Netherlands, known to have climbed past the death zone in Mount Everest with nothing but shorts and shoes. Holding 26 world records, you may know him from his Wim Hof breathing techniques, the one and only Wim Iceman Hof. Wim, thanks for being on Legendary.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Of course, my pleasure. On Legendary, we like to interview people who have succeeded in their domains. For those who don't know who Wim Hof is, who is Wim Hof and how would you identify yourself?
Wim is somebody who was not satisfied with the way he saw reality around him, and he began a soul search. I got an identical twin brother, but I was always different. Why? I came later to know by talking to my mother that I had a traumatic birth. I was born in a cold hole, almost suffocated. I was different. I had to make connection inside deeply, and I found it through the cold water. Because the ice water is like nature. It is merciless but righteous. It brings you back inside. You cannot think. You have to survive. But then you learn to handle that power. And that power made me able to do stuff, 26 world records, like swimming under the ice, climbing Mount Everest to the death zone, and feeling happy and nice and okay. Kilimanjaro in one day with people who are very sick. I'm able to motivate, to bring out the life force in people who are very sick, like cancer and arthritis, and make a climb in shorts of the Kilimanjaro. It's the biggest mountain in Africa, like almost 6 kilometers, with no former experience in the mountain climbing, and they have arthritis, cancer, Crohn's disease, depression, asthma, and we go in a record time, and they transform. What is that? That is nature. And I found things in nature unknown in science. And when I was 17, I already knew a lot of esoteric disciplines of all the world, and cultures and languages and disciplines. I did karate, kung fu, dervish, Buddhism, Hinduism, all kinds of things, learning. Arab. أنت تتكلم العربية؟
أتكلم العربية.
شوية نعرف العربية. Doesn't matter. I looked everywhere inside, and I found out that the tension in the world, because I think the world full of despair and war and disease and tension and stress and individualism is not a healthy world. I think now, and that's where I set off, I want to find something which is inside, which is good for everybody, namely happiness, strength, and health. Everybody should be able to guarantee, like every mother in the world, to guarantee happiness, strength, and health. When that is there, then the salam is there, then the peace is there. Because unconditional happiness, strength, and health, the way nature meant it to be, is equal for everybody. But because it is not there, that's why we have differences. We have cultures and traditions, power grieving, and then you get so much, and then you want more. You go into war to get more, and they say that is nature. I think it is outdated, and because I look like a hippie when I'm talking, that's why I go through science. And now I got into scientific research all over the world, right. And I'm showing that I'm able to, for example, get a bacteria injected, Within a quarter of an hour, I get it fully in control. Whereas in science was stated that is not possible, I show how it is done. And now I teach people everywhere in the world,
Right.
and they are then having a control far more than we thought possible. And this will bring happiness, strength, and health as a guarantee back as core value to the people, and then we get peace.
Beautiful. Before we get into the science,
Yes.
what made you at a young age, you said by the age of 17, you had all the esoteric knowledge.
Yes.
What pushed you to seek all this knowledge?
It is the unknown, yet it is there. It is the unseen, yet it is there. And that is an urge inside. I call it the soul. And the soul is something you cannot see, but it is there. Without the soul, we are nothing. We are just a piece of meat, not even.
Right.
Because of the grace of the soul, we exist, but it is not in the books. And religions have a lot of confusion. And this is what I saw. And I had this traumatic experience, and I had to learn to go very deep to understand what had happened to me. On the way, I began to learn about the deeper control possible, the way nature meant it to be, over the physiology, both of the mind and the body. And that made me go in a very irrational path. Hey, I just follow my feeling,
You felt a calling.
my intuition. Yes, because in the books it was not there. I could not figure out, you become enlightened if you stay 20 years in a cave, and then something happens over there, and it looks like somebody, Sabija, Kevala Kumbaka, blah, blah, blah. Hey, they talk and talk and talk and talk. But I like to walk,
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah.
and to understand with my Western way of thinking what is happening. So, because it was not there, I went into nature. And nature taught me to shut up, get into the body, and be and learn about the impact of the nature, cold and heat, and to learn to deal with that with the mind. I've learned. And now, when I go, for example, in a laboratory setting, and they expose water to cold water, where normally it makes the skin temperature go zoom, down.
Yeah.
Cold goes down. That is our understanding of our body, also in science. Goes down when it is cold, goes up when it is warm, goes down when it is cold, and it goes like this. Nobody can do something else. Now I come from nature. I've learned to deal with the elements of nature, with the stress, even severe stress. Coming to my body, I'm able, just by thinking, to make the hormones work in the body. No moving, no breathing, little breathing. I just stayed over there the whole time, and the cold came, and the warm, cold, warm, and I just stayed over there. Then they looked inside the brain, and they saw me controlling parts of the brain they thought of is not possible by humans. I completely showed a different scale, different picture than all the test subjects they had experimented on, with the same model, a scientific model, a research model of the cold coming in, skin temperature goes up, and then they look in the brain scan, and then they see prefrontal cortex, very activated, insula, which is in meditation. That thing in time is very activated here. So when the cold comes in, then the prefrontal cortex, your consciousness, very activated because there's stress going on, stress. And the insula, easy does it, very deep, relaxed feeling, very blue, like non-activation. Non-activation, but I turned it. I turned it completely, and I showed a very robust control in the brainstem, and then the periaqueductal gray hemisphere, which is the area where all the hormones, the opiates and the cannabinoids are being made. And we don't know how to activate that in stress. And you know what is stress? Stress is bacteria, virus, emotional, oxidative stress, It's all stress on the body, and we don't know how to break the cycle with our thoughts, with the power of our mind, because we lost the connection.
Right.
And that connection I found back. I showed it in brain scans, and now through podcasts like this, I want to bring it to the whole world. Guys, there is a way, there are universal tools to become not only peaceful, to have a great time while the whole stress of the whole world is going on. You just break it because you are in control and nobody else. Not the books, not the government, it's you. God is within us all. Equal.
I love it. I love it.
It is all about the love.
It's all about the love.
Yes.
So what caused you to seek all this? What pain did you endure in order to find and search to develop the... We're going to get into the science and the techniques.
Yes.
But I know there's drama.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Not only I was born with a traumatic, but also when I was 35 years, I had 4 children, very little. My wife jumped from 8 stories down. She was, they told, schizophrenic. They treated her with medicines, pills, and injections, but it didn't help. And she was beautiful. I'm working right now with the 4 children in my company, our company. We are happy, but at that time, that was total crushed my emotional being. And emotions, it really go up to the DNA. So when the other part, because between man and woman, you become one. You become influenced deeply in your own heart and your DNA and anything, the biochemistry.
Right.
When it is torn, you fall inside, you feel sick, depressed and all. But I couldn't do that because I had 4 children. I had very little money. Mm-hmm. I had 4 beautiful children. Right. That's great. And they made me survive, but the nature healed me. And nature is the cold. Because in the cold, when you have emotional despair, you go into the cold, you cannot think about that.
Right.
You gotta survive. And then you come peaceful inside. And then I found out that consciously, at a certain moment, you don't need to cold anymore. You can consciously get and tap into the peace of your mind, to pacify your mind in the depth and experience the purpose of life, which is the soul, which is love.
So I want to know, what was the beginning, the time where they said, oh, there's a gentleman named Wim Hof who is doing so-and-so, we need to put it to the test?
Yes, after I was doing world records one after the other.
Right.
And then the scientists began to say, but what this guy is doing is, or this man is doing,
it's an exception.
That is not possible. But he's a man. So let's put him to the test. And they put me to the test. And the first test was a cold physiological test. 80 minutes in the ice, completely up to here, and then taking blood here all the time.
Simultaneously?
Yes. I was here, and here was the arm in a big cylinder. And then they saw that my core body temperature remained 37 degrees. Skin temperature went down to almost 0 degrees. So normally that is not possible.
Right.
How to make a difference of your core staying 37 degrees, while this is 0 degrees almost, or like 3 degrees, 4 degrees. That normally mingles, the exchanges with the blood, and that your core body temperature begins to get seriously down. If it only goes 2-3 degrees down, the core body, then you have hypothermia, which is dangerous because the function of your liver, heart, lungs, and brain needs to be 37 degrees. 2 degrees down is hypothermic, is danger. And when it goes 3 degrees more, then it goes really down and you go into coma, you die. This is blood. We are mammals. So I showed them that I was able to go even further down in the core body temperature and go back. This control I got. The first research I showed 37 degrees, 37.2 degrees at the end after 80 minutes. They took the blood, 36 of the tubes, and then they put in ex vivo in a laboratory, they put bacteria inside. And normally you have a violent reaction, and in my blood was 0 reaction.
Wow.
And that they never had seen before, because this is not possible. This is the immune system, and the immune system cells, they react when the bacteria comes, but there was no reaction. You know why? Because my blood was so alert, so powerful, being in there in the eyes. It's not only that the eyes comes and you don't do anything. No, you do really something inside in the blood, and the blood is everywhere, and that comes with hormones and the adrenal axis and the life force itself, and it makes the impact. You stay there, you don't come in. And that's the way we are built, but we lost that connection. I do that at will, and thus I make bacteria and virus getting out of the system. I make the specific immune system. 3 layers in the immune system. The first layer is the skin. A second layer is the inflammation. Inflammation is a reaction on the bacteria. Then is the fever, is working to get it out. And the third layer is specific immune system. It puts a hormone on the membrane of the intruder, the virus or the bacteria, and it kills it's called apoptosis, a cell death of the intruder specifically. And there is no fever, no nothing. And that had happened.
And all that through the power of the brain.
All that through the power of the brain with the connection. Exactly. And everybody has this. And this is what we want to bring, a disease-free world. Giving the mother the power to guarantee for their child to become happy, strong, and healthy. That's what I want.
Why do you think we've lost touch with nature?
We lost the connection because we think we can rule over nature. Mother Nature is like God. It's for everybody the same, and if you violate the laws, if you do something else, you get disease, you get depression, you get this, you don't live the life nice, you have no control, you don't understand the soul. What do you got then? This is what is happening now. So this is because of our behavior. We think we can control the nature, but we don't control because the nature is inside and outside, same thing.
Right.
We are all connected. My energy is connected. My breath is connected. My thoughts are connected. And then we make each other different, and one has maybe 1,000 times more than somebody else. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. So we lost a connection with the love. The love is the energy which connects you with your soul and the universe right here, right now. If you want to become in connection and in control at will with the immune system, which represents the health, with happiness, which represents the endocrine system, and with power, which is the metabolic energy management of the cell, mitochondria, and all that, then if you do that, then you will find out that it is consciousness we talk, that we develop, that we are living beings. We are not a water standing still or living in a narrowed consciousness made because we have to do this and this and that and that. And for what purpose? The world is like in confusion and fighting to each other. And the love is gone because the respect for the inner nature with the outer nature is fully in respect. And respect is value. You can only get this value if you live in concordance with your will, at will, into the soul. And with that, you will learn to control happiness, strength, and health, or the immune system, endocrine system, and the mitochondrial metabolic processes in the cell. And it goes up to the DNA, and I'm showing that together now with the University of San Francisco, with the best of the world. They say, after 12 years, we know how the DNA works, because we look in the microscopes, we know how, but we don't know how to get there at will. And now with these techniques, we see this makes the chains. We go into the DNA. And you know, God or nature or Mother Nature or the divine force, whatever the name, it's equal. It's the source of our happiness, strength, and health. It gives our purpose through intuition and instinct. And there is no doubt. It's absolute, and it is good for every mother to give to her children, regardless where. From Venice Beach to Paris to Baghdad to Sydney, Australia, or wherever.
Right. So I know you've developed techniques, right? You've had the program.
Yes.
And you've also done where a group, they've asked you if you can get regular individuals that are not yourself. And it took you 4 days.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
To get them to go through the same circumstances you were in.
That is the Enigma. The Enigma was, yes, in science it's stated it's not possible for humans to get into the autonomic nervous system. You cannot go into at will in the endocrine system. You cannot go into the innate immune system. It's not possible. It's in the books. And then I had to prove with 18 people, I stated what I can do, because I showed it already. I can show anybody to do that. And how much time do you need? 1 year, 1.5 years, to get them a little bit close to your results, which you showed when after the injection, and you got it down. I said 1 year, 1.5 years, 10 days. 10 days. It became 4 days. 4 days, I took them to the mountains, back in nature. And we trained in nature. After 6 hours in driving to the mountains, I got through into their minds. And I said, yeah, guys, you guys are the new ones. You are the greatest gladiators ever. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because we are going to win the source and cause of the greatest misery in history and causes of death and quality of life and confusion. And that it's caused by the bacteria and the virus. And in 4 days, we will train so far, so good. So give it all and you get it all. And I got them there. 4 days later, without former experience in the cold, they were climbing up a mountain in their shorts, minus 10 centigrade it was. And then up on top, it was minus 27. And we were dancing the Harlem Shake. We had a lot of fun. And then I knew it was funny, but they were the man God meant us to be.
Right.
And they were there, and there I had the confidence in 4 days they're gonna be in the hospital, and then I know they will beat the bacteria, and they will beat the odds of the medical history, and we will change the books. And they did. 100% score. 16,134 people before experimented with the same scientific model of endotoxemia, and nobody had the ability to become without a disease and headaches and all over fever, agony, shivering because of the bacteria inside. And now came 12 people randomly chosen of the 18 going in, receiving bacteria, and they all were just fine. Cured.
Wow.
Good.
By being in nature and controlling their mind and breathing.
To reset go in nature, expose yourself, like very cold over there. But you got the mind, and the mind is able to learn to deal with the stress. And bacteria is also stress for the body.
Right.
So learning to deal with stress is connecting the normal consciousness with the deeper part of the brain, which is dealing with the stress directly.
Beautiful.
Activating the adrenal axis very effectively, and then a bacteria has no chance.
Right.
So simple. So learning how to control inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of any disease. And how can you do that? Say, for example, in Kuwait.
Right.
In Kuwait, you got the desert, you got the heat, you got the storms. Is it also in Kuwait the Ramla?
Yes.
It's the sand.
Yeah.
You got the sand coming to you. But you also there learn how to tap into your deeper part of the brain. Maybe the Bedouins or the people in the desert, they know. They have a natural abilities. We made cities and all these abstract buildings and abstract ways of life, and all very in the distance. So we lost the connection inside.
Right. So you're saying even in hot climate, we can have the same results?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
I did run a full marathon. I'm not a runner.
Okay.
But I run a full marathon in the desert, in South Africa, Namibia, Namib desert, without drinking. And it showed also.
How long was the?
About 4.5 hours.
No drinking.
No drinking in the desert, running. So I lost 5.2 liters of water, but my core body temperature remained 37 degrees.
That is
very
phenomenal.
much in control. That is the connection. The connection makes you able to deal with the stress outside.
That's the impact you have on the body internally.
Yes.
I wonder what impact it had on your outlook externally.
Externally, that I see misery everywhere, all kinds of diseases, both mental and physical. And I say, we can beat it. We can beat disease, mentally and physical. The connection makes you understand that through intuition, not through books, through intuition. It's inside. And he gives love. He gives power to give prosperity to your children, wherever. In America, in Persia, in Kuwait or South Africa, it's all the same. It's the love.
So what is the first step?
The first step is to understand that we are born with the capacity to be happy, strong, and healthy. With the capacity to fully understand the purpose of our lives every day. With the capacity to have a consciousness that makes every day a miracle, beautiful, and not being manipulated and oppressed in a narrowed consciousness, to be open and nice. And when you feel good, you pass it on to somebody else. You are sane, and your energy is sane, and it's contagious positively, and it brings happiness to everybody.
Right.
That's simple. It's like the old tribe. In the old tribe, there were no pharmaceuticals, there was no machines, there was no this or that, but the tribe could deal with anything. It was not thinking, I cannot deal with that, so wait, let's be in fear. No, they talk to each other, the elders, and then they deal with it, and it was always okay, nice. And the children get born, and in nature, and they eat, and be, and beautiful.
Right.
God is there. So then industrialization came, and then came the distance. And with the distance came the disconnection. And that's a disconnection now, where nobody knows how to make it connect in the Western world. Because we got a certain lifestyle of stressful going and doing all kinds of things connected to doing out there, but not inside anymore.
Right.
And it's not there. So I showed in a couple of days how to reconnect with the deepest in the brain. And once you are able, that is the periaqueductal gray hemisphere, and the will is the prefrontal cortex. Just make it simple.
Yeah.
And now this was disconnected, and now this connected again. This is the first step I show people. Listen, it's science. It's also a story, but it's science.
It's backed by science.
To a story, you would not listen. But to science, you have no speculation, no room for speculation. It's what it is. You want it? Take it. You don't want it? Okay.
No problem.
No problem.
More problems for us. I mean, we're going to stay disconnected, but we
Yes.
recommend that they take it.
I think so. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I keep on showing it through science, and I bring it to people. Listen,
Through story.
Yes.
So why don't you share with them a few of the stories, like the one with the MS? or
Yes, MS and lots of, have about 45,000 people who completely cured, testimonials.
from the Wim Hof Method?
Yes,
Right.
through the Wim Hof Method in all kinds of diseases, both mental and physical.
Okay.
So it is an open hospital, and probably more, like hundreds and thousands or millions of people are already doing this, because we give it for free out. That's the way people get to that. And how many? Millions over the world.
How were you able to develop the method, the Wim Hof method? How did it come about? Because I asked you prior when we were offset, I said,
Yes.
how does one, after the trauma of your wife,
Yes.
and having 4 kids, how did you, why resort to nature, first of all? And then how did you come to develop the method, right?
Yes.
And then how can they find the method
Yes.
or have access to it?
I had a terrible grief inside.
Right.
I was torn inside. And society just goes on like a fast train. You have
Right.
to pick it, otherwise you lose it. So the nature is merciless, like cold water is merciless, but I felt intuitively I have to go there and resort to cold water. And there I found an effective way to still my mind, the grief, whatever was making my confusion inside and my emotions miserable. The biochemistry was really bad. And I could not permit that because I had 4 beautiful children.
Absolutely.
I had to take care. I had no money, so I go to something in nature outside, which is for free. So I did that, and then I began to go into the cold water every day in the winters, have my peace of mind. And from there, I learned, what do you do when you go for the first time in cold water? You learn to breathe
panic.
deep, or you panic or you breathe deeply. And when you breathe deeply, you become the master over your biochemistry, enabling you to cope with the impact. And with that comes the understanding that in the brain, suddenly, you are into the deepest of the brain of survival mechanisms. And that when you connect with that, then the power of the mind is opening up to you. That was the great lesson I got, besides driven to get my emotion down.
Right.
And then I began to think, okay, hey, if I thus breathe deeply, let me do that at home in a warm environment. I did that, and then these breathing techniques, the things I saw, the lights I saw, the patterns and everything, I never had seen in books. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. And that was the autonomic nervous system at work every day at 4 o'clock. Every day I was up. They were sleeping and I had to go to school later. So in the morning I had the time for myself. It's like military discipline. Every morning, 4 o'clock, up, doing breathing techniques, and then do flexibility exercises. And when they woke up, then I was fully there and
present.
Yes, fully in the present, exactly. And there I found out that the breathing techniques, it's so beautiful. And they are able to make you capable to go into the deepest of your emotion and to go into the light of yourself, which is the electricity system with us. It's almost a dirty word for that, what it really is. Mm-hmm. And you are able to cleanse it through the breathing techniques and your will. And that I did for years and years.
And now you offer it online to everyone.
Yes, this had to be discovered. And now it shows we can beat bacteria, virus, and we are now into the depression, bipolar, trauma, PTSD.
So mental illness as well.
Mental illnesses, yes. And I think that you want to talk about the terrorist?
Please.
The real terrorist in the world is the mental disease, the mental malfunctioning of your own mind. The mind not in control is your worst enemy. In control, your greatest ally. Then you are able to understand everything. Nobody wants to be not happy. not healthy, not strong. But nobody knows how to use the mind. And now we bring that toward everybody, that you don't need 20 years of meditating and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and call it yogic or meditation or esoteric Sufism in the mystical traditions of the Christians, whatever. Go aside and bring it now home here. It's like food, and it's your inner nature with the nature outside. Because we are destroying the world, polluting the world, exploiting the world, and but in the end, we are just exploiting our own inner self. And that makes all the disease coming to us, and we don't know how to deal with it. Yeah, pills, medicines, therapies, and this and that. No. You lost the connection with yourself, and you're not able, as a father and a mother, to guarantee for your children the most valuable core values in life, happiness, strength, and health. Then who are you? You know? And this I want to give back to the people.
Right.
It's the faith of God inside, the divine force, and it's past works. It's real. It's the unseen. And the unseen, yet
It's felt.
very present, makes you confident, and you're proud, and you're there, because you are there and you protect the ones around you, and the nature you respect. And that is the beauty of the spirituality. It is all there. We were born with it. So there is an unseen. You got 5 senses: the smell, the sight, the taste, the hearing, and the feeling of the body. But you got also the 6th sense: the trust and the confidence, the higher self. You got the 7th sense, which is the proprioception, that is a neurological network related to the immune system. We proved to go deeply in, exactly into the depth of the bone marrow and the DNA. So we got it. And you got number 8. Number 8 is the interoception, which I showed just recently, new science, first time show how to control with one thought your body. And I showed with the power of the thought, I'm able it's called the interoceptive focus, to go top down. First time in the world. And the study is out. It's called brain over body. Not body over brain, that we know. But now it's brain over body. It's completely new. And they say this is, we have now the compelling evidence of the autonomous processes. Autonomous means outside of your will, but it's no longer outside of our will. We have the compelling evidence of the autonomous processes in the brain related to mood regulation. And what is mood? Happiness, feeling bad, feeling sad. But can you do something about it? Yes, top down.
And
if somebody, if somebody, anybody in the world has this power, then he will go and choose happiness. Not happiness, happiness. But people don't know about this, and that's why they get into bad things, and depressions, and bipolar, and anxiety, and fear, PTSD, trauma, and all those things. The real terrorist. So
and also cancer and diseases that are...
cancer, absolutely. Now, lately is linked the immune system with cancer. Now it is proven that there is a link, strong link. Now, what did we do with the immune system? Get deeply, very deep, more than science thought was possible. That's why we could inoculate the bacteria. And now they found that the immune system, which we can control into the depth, relates directly to cancer. Oh. So it's now a matter of time. I always said we are able to guarantee, as the mother should be able, and the dad as well. Otherwise you get war, you get crazy, you get anxiety. You go for something and you follow leaders. No, follow the core values of life, and you have enough. You have peace, strength, happiness, and health for your children. That's what you want. The rest is bullshit. And so coming back, This is what I say, and the science I use just to back it up. But nobody listened. That's why I had to go
Back it
into
up
the
by science.
translation.
So just to clarify, all these techniques and breathing techniques are available online through your Wim Hof Method
Yes.
website, correct?
Yes.
Which will have the link for all the viewers to access.
Great.
And anyone can do them from anywhere, right? From the
Yes.
home, no tools needed, nothing.
Just your motivation.
Beautiful. So, question, Wim, what is your definition of success?
Success comes from Italian. It means done. Something is completed. My mission where I set out in life to was, I was not satisfied in peace with what was going on. I thought there is more than meets the eye. And what it is, I don't know, but I'm searching for it. I will find it. My faith was therein, and after decades, I found ways to go through science and show suddenly, after changing the books and the knowledge of medical history, to become in a simple understanding that we are in control over our happiness, strength, and health. And it's universal now. Through science, we are able to become happy, strong, and healthy. That is my success. Recognition. It's the success for the soul. I got it, but I keep on now. And together, we are stronger, and you bring it out as well, because it's in the end common sense.
Right.
We just want to stop the nonsense and bring sense, common sense.
Right, which is not very common.
Which is not very common. Like it.
Right. And finally, what's a message you'd like to leave for the viewers?
The message is simple. We got him. We got him is with a T, and sometimes also with a D. We got him. And now it's through science. We are really able to bring and guarantee happiness, strength, and health. This is going to be the future. We're gonna be the master over our mind. And I tell you, we have shown this in brain scans, and we have shown through bacteria injected that we are the master. We are born to be the master over our bodies and mind. And with that comes the great journey to the soul. The science of the soul is only beginning with the power of the mind releasing. We are showing this now, so the stepping stones very soon will be published, and then you see it's a fact. It's no philosophy, it's no religion, it's a fact. Our divine energy, which is not confined by narrowed consciousness, but by the ability of the power of the mind to go anywhere in the brain, is freedom. And that freedom feels bloody good.
Beautiful.
That's what we are.
Wim, thank you for being on Legendary.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Airplanes.
Flying high, flying low, we all know how to go.
We're fine, right? We'll wait for the play. Huh? We'll do it again. Is that fine?
Yeah. And have fun. And have
Absolutely.
fun.
Thank you.